Xi Jinping warns of potential party collapse through historical poem. Lithuania stands up to China and supports Taiwan. New document. After Barbie, BlackPink angers Hanoi with 9-line map. U.S. to restrict China's access to cloud services amid strained relations. U.S. to work with allies on China's mineral curbs, Commerce Department.
On the occasion of the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP's founding anniversary, July 1st, the Central Committee's magazine Jiuxi released the complete transcript of Xi Jinping's speech at the party school earlier last year. During his speech, Xi Jinping emphasized to young and middle-aged cadres, stating, "If the people we train do not believe in Marxism and communism, do not elevate the banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics, it could lead to drastic changes, similar to what happened in Eastern Europe, the collapse of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, the disintegration of the Soviet Union, and the tragedy. The ancient country could not bear to look back at the moon." The phrase, "the ancient country could not bear to look back at Yuemingzhong," is a verse from Li Yu, the last king of southern Tang during the 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms period in Chinese history. On the same day, China's CCTV, the official media outlet of the CCP, reported that Xi Jinping stated during a Politburo collaborative study session on June 30th that it is the historical responsibility of contemporary Chinese communists to strive for modernizing and rejuvenating Marxism. He emphasized the importance of not abandoning the roots of Marxism or China's rich traditional culture. According to a report from Xinhua, another CCP official media outlet, Xi Jinping recently issued an important directive on party building and administrative work. The directive highlighted the fundamental task of loyalty to and protection of the party and efforts to strengthen it. Tang Jingyuan, a current affairs commentator, noted that the phrase "protecting the party" has never appeared in the CCP's history. Behind this sense of crisis lies the failure of the CCP in domestic and foreign political and economic affairs. Analysts point out that Xi Jinping is most acutely aware of the risk of the party's demise. In the past 5 years, he has issued warnings on this topic at least 10 times, and the frequency appears to be increasing. Yue Shan, a journalist from Daji Yuan, stated that this indicates Xi himself senses the increasing danger of the party's potential collapse. Just a month ago on May 30th, during the first meeting of the Central Committee's National Security Committee, Xi Jinping was more explicit, stating, "We must adopt critical thinking and be prepared to face major challenges, even storms." Lin He, another current affairs commentator, argued that the CCP is facing domestic and international difficulties, such as the U.S. encirclement of China, growing conflicts with Russia, and an unstable economic situation at home. Xi Jinping's remarks reflect the enormous challenge the CCP and his power face. Tang Jingyuan remarked, "How imminent is the risk of the CCP's collapse? I believe it has reached its final stages, comparable to the last stage of a malignant tumor."
Lithuania continues to show that it is not afraid of the Chinese regime. On July 5th, the Baltic country released a document about a new government strategy for the Indo-Pacific region. According to Politico, the document states that Lithuania will build strong economic ties with Taiwan and says that Taiwan is one of Lithuania's strategic priorities. The document points out that China is a global economic and military power that has constrained every intensifying autocratic control methods apply and is exercising an increasingly aggressive foreign policy aimed at projecting its power externally. Lithuania has repeatedly expressed its opposition to China's regime. In 2021, Lithuania was the first country to leave the 17+1 group led by China for countries mainly belonging to the former Soviet Union. Soon after, the small country of less than 3 million people allowed the establishment of a new Taiwan commercial office in Vilnius. China's regime immediately took action to punish Lithuania through economic pressure. However, the document says Beijing's efforts have yielded nothing. It says unsuccessful attempts by China to exert economic and diplomatic pressure on Lithuania proves that a country can withstand economic blackmail if it has built up societal resilience and has reliable partners. The document added, Lithuania is seeking to enhance practical cooperation with Taiwan, a like-minded democracy, and an important economic and technological partner in the region.
Following a ban on the new Barbie movie, Vietnam started investigating the tour organizer website of South Korean K-pop band BlackPink, since fans complained that the website depicts a map of the South China Sea with disputed boundaries. According to Reuters, the Vietnamese Ministry of Culture announced on July 5th that it had ordered an inspection of the website to verify the suspicion that the company, iMe Entertainment Co., organizing the BlackPink Music Night, promoted the 9- line. The organizer's homepage was inaccessible on July 6th, but a cached version seen by Reuters and last updated on July 4th shows a vague 9- line that covers nearly the whole South China Sea. Born Pink World Tour Hanoi by the popular K-pop group is set to take place in Hanoi for the first time on July 29th through the 30th. However, due to the map of the Cow Tongue line, angry Vietnamese netizens began calling for boycotting the girl band's concert. Tu An Sin, a BlackPink fan, wrote on Facebook, "Bought 2 tickets for me and my date. Then I saw the Cow Tongue and quit. I am a patriot." BlackPink, a cornerstone of South Korea's multi-billion-dollar entertainment industry, is the latest to court trouble in Vietnam for depicting China's controversial 9- line, which was rejected in an international arbitration ruling by a court in The Hague in 2016. China refuses to recognize the ruling. On July 3rd, Hanoi banned the distribution of Barbie for the same alleged offense. Din Kim Phuc, a South China Sea expert, told Radio Free Asia that Hanoi had to take action to stop China from propagating its claims in the contested waterway. He said, "If authorities let it be shown throughout the territory of Vietnam, China would make a point that Vietnam has accepted the 9- line. That is to say, accepted China's sovereignty claims in the South China Sea." According to Radio Free Asia, the Philippines might follow suit, since the country's Movie and Television Review and Classification Board was also reviewing whether to approve the film's release in cinemas. The US is preparing to restrict Chinese firms' access to US cloud computing services, which could further strain the relationship between the two economic superpowers. According to the Wall Street Journal, if the new rule is adopted, US cloud service providers such as Amazon and Microsoft must seek government permission before offering cloud computing services that utilize advanced artificial intelligence chips to Chinese customers. This proposed restriction on cloud services is seen as a means to address a significant loophole. National security analysts have raised concerns that Chinese AI companies may have bypassed existing export control rules by utilizing cloud services. The U.S. Department of Commerce will also implement additional restrictions in the coming weeks as part of an expansion of its semiconductor export control policy, introduced last year. The move from Washington on cloud services comes as the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP regime, announced on July 3rd that it would impose export restrictions on metals used in advanced chip manufacturing. The controls on metals, deemed necessary for national security and protection of China's interests, would require exporters to obtain permission for shipping specific gallium and germanium products. The escalating conflict over supply chain access to advanced technology intensifies ahead of Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen's visit to China, which the U.S. hopes will help ease tensions. The proposed ban on cloud services is the latest in a series of retaliatory actions between the U.S. and the CCP regarding semiconductors and other advanced technologies. Given their current presence in the Chinese market, this new policy would expand the reach of export control measures beyond semiconductor and equipment manufacturers, impacting U.S. cloud service providers such as Amazon Web Services and Microsoft's Azure. While restrictions on advanced chips and equipment were announced last year, the final rules have yet to be codified. In the coming weeks, upgraded regulations are expected, including an expanded scope of restrictions on AI chips produced by companies like NVIDIA. The new rule on cloud computing will be part of this comprehensive effort. The U.S. Commerce Department said on July 4th that it would work with partners and allies on China's controversial export controls on minerals. As Reuters reports, a spokesperson for the department said the U.S. strongly protested the move, which targets gallium and germanium, two critical components used in electric vehicles and fiber optic cables. The spokesperson said, These actions underscore the need to diversify supply chains. The United States will engage with our allies and partners to address this and to build resilience in critical supply chains. The restrictions, announced on July 3rd, are widely seen as a reprisal to the West, especially after the European Union recently agreed on a de-risking plan from China that prioritized critical raw materials. It is a hard strike back from Beijing. The two minerals play a critical role in multiple key industries. Their broad applications make them also essential for the EU's defense needs. Beijing's announcement sent prices skyrocketing as companies ramp up supply before the measures take effect on August 1st. It also came as more countries joined a Washington-led drive to throttle Chinese access to advanced technology. Most recently is the Netherlands, which on June 30th said it would impose export controls on high-tech microchip machines to China. The Chinese Commerce Department has said it rolled out the restrictions over national security concerns.